Hi there. Whee! I'm Armin. And you're watching Monomoto. This is a Kendon Dual Up trailer, and I had it now for one season. And here's my review. So, what can you expect from this video? I will give you an overview how it is to live with this trailer. I used it mostly to get my bike to the track, but also transported other bikes around. And I will give you the full experience about that, the good and the bad, and maybe a little bit of the ugly. Then I will also show you how I actually hook up the trailer, how I load and strap down my S1000 R, and what kind of modifications I made to transport more than just bikes on this Kendon Dual Up trailer. All right, let's start a little bit with how I actually use this trailer and how it was. As I mentioned, I use this trailer mostly to get my bike from the garage to the track, and also with my track-only bike, which is not street legal, to get it to dealerships for any sort of maintenance. I am towing this trailer with a medium-sized SUV, and the very nice thing about this trailer is it is so light. When you put it behind a 2-ton vehicle, you pretty much don't notice it. When it is loaded with bikes and equipment, then yes, you will feel a little bit of a slower braking, but overall going around corners, driving and handling the car is very, very easy. However, this trailer is very, very short, and backing up with it is not easy. You probably heard, or you probably know already, that backing up trailers is always slightly tricky, but because of how short this is, every angle that your car has will make this trailer react even quicker. So it is very nuanced, or it needs a lot of control to back up this trailer properly. Not anything crazy, just a little bit harder than trailers that are longer. One of the things that I noticed there. Else, driving, going around corners, especially here in the mountains with mountain roads, not a problem at all. And here you see the party trick of any Kendon trailer. You can fold the lower part, and then you can get the trailer upright. So you can put it here against the wall, and it takes up minimum room in my garage for a trailer in this case. Getting it up and down is a little tricky. Definitely do it on a flat ground. Once you have it up, the wheels are very, very small. You don't want to do any sort of gravel or grass or loose ground, because those little wheels that are used when it's upright will definitely get stuck. Another trick to make it a little bit easier: when you get the trailer up, put some 2x4s under the main wheels so the entire trailer doesn't slide away while you're trying to lift it. Else, it's definitely possible to do it by yourself, but much safer if you do it with somebody else, for sure. So the trailer is light, easy to tow, except for backwards, and you can put it up in the garage. What's not to love? There's a couple of drawbacks. One is rust. Oh my God, so much rust. These are made out of steel, and this is the Go series, the cheaper version where it's made and manufactured in China. And it already arrived with plenty of rust, and every time it gets exposed to any sorts of moisture, it creates more rust. So the best thing there is to, first of all, keep the trailer as much dry as possible. So definitely in the winter months, don't let it sit outside. This is something that wants to be inside to last long. There's a lot of customers that also reported that it rusted through after a couple of years. It doesn't happen very quickly, but they're still very prone to rust. If you notice any spots, definitely use rust remover and paint over it. That is pretty easy to do, but honestly, a little bit disappointing that the paint is so weak and that you just get so much rust on this trailer. Another downside related to bad weather. Last time I went to the track with this, it was raining and the bike was on the back of the trailer. Not a big problem. The bike is not made of sugar. It's not going to melt away. But keep in mind, this trailer has no protection in the front and it's right behind the car. So all the turbulent air and all the dirt that gets picked up from your car tires gets thrown towards your bike. The trailer and my bike were extremely dirty after that, just from all the picked up dirty air that it got exposed to, because there's no wall or anything. I've seen a couple of people modifying their trailers and putting some sort of protective wall in front of the trailer to protect your bike from stones or weather, and that can be very helpful if you are in a climate where this might be a problem. Another problem that I faced with this trailer: the stock OEM reflective stickers that came on it actually were not applied very well. Again, might be only a problem with the Go series, but the adhesive was not holding it. And so what I needed to do is I picked this off Amazon. It's just trailer reflective tape in white and red, and applied it on certain spots around the trailer, so the trailer is more visible at night. It has 2 lights on the fenders, but I would definitely recommend using this to make it more visible so that nobody rear ends you, especially when your deer track bike is on it. Visibility is key. I will link this in the description below in case you need this. But overall, I'm really happy with this trailer. You can see already I did some modifications. I have a Milwaukee pack out system mounted to it, actually another part as well. And I will show you in this video how I use it as well. So let's jump right into the sections where I actually walk you through how I use it. We're gonna hook up the trailer, load the bike, and then also load all the gear I need for the track onto this trailer. Let's go. So when you first hook it up, all you need to do is grab this and convince it down like so. And this locks the trailer onto your hitch. It's a 2-inch ball receiver hitch, so pretty standard. And it comes with a 4-pin connector. This is an aftermarket because I had some problems with the original wiring loom that came with it. So I replaced this. This is a little bit nicer, but the OEM one is very similar. And then it comes with these hooks, which are a little bit elastic, and you can hook it to your car for safety. Speaking of car, this is an X4, so it's a mid-size SUV, and it's no problem to tow at all with this. The very first modification I would do is for your own safety during transportation, but also peace of mind when you park somewhere. Get yourself a little hitch lock. This brand is called Retrue. I will put a link in the description below. It's very simple. You just put it through the hole here. Which tightens the entire mechanism. And so you can see it locks around here. And then you can remove the key when done. And this way, you cannot open this. So it's good that it doesn't accidentally open on the highway and you lose your trailer. And of course, it's a minimum prevention that somebody will go and steal your trailer while it's hooked to your car. Also, of course, you can leave it on there when you leave your trailer somewhere disconnected from your car. Right, it's a big advantage of a trailer over a van. You can disconnect it, and then at least when you have this locked, it's a little bit harder for people to just take the trailer with you. But it's a very basic safety, so quite easy to get around, but better than nothing. But how is it actually to trail your S1000 RR around? I've got a ramp here. Usually I keep the ramp just in the trunk of my car, but you can also mount it to the trailer, even though that mechanism is a little bit funky. So this one has a plate here where you can mount it to, and some older trailers have it under, which is harder to reach. But it also takes up a lot of room here on the deck. The ramp is easy to use. Just hook it in like so, and then you're ready to load the bike. Loading the bike, if you have some clutch control, is pretty easy, but then you can hook the bike in. Just so the bike doesn't fall over, I have one tie down already attached. Let me get you a little bit closer and then I'll show you how I tie down this S1000 on the Kendon trailer. What you have seen so far, this process is pretty painless. You just go up the ramp, and then these wheel chocks are here adjustable. So you can move it based on the front tire size. So the second one is great for 17-inch wheels tires, which is typical on sport bikes. Second one here works great for 19-inch, like on a GS. The other ones are for even bigger tires. I didn't try those out yet. And then it just moves and secures your bike. What I'm doing here is I have one of these straps, and I will link that in the description below. These tie-down straps go up here to the triple, as you can see. I loop them through each other, make sure that you don't get the brake lines into the way. And the trick of it is that A, you can hook up to it super quickly. You've seen that just took me a few seconds. And then it's out of the way. It's not touching any fairings or scratching anything. And then these are nice. These are the cargo buckets. And so it has a ratchet built in, and it's spring-loaded, so you don't have to tie up any excess rope, but you can release it, you can tighten it down, super easy. And then if you just do it on the other side, I will just show it once close up. I have this one mounted here, the other one is mounted here on the center plate. You just go through the loop, can even do that one-handed. Then you grab this guy, give it a couple of tucks, and then the bike is already really secure. You want to make sure that the bike is pretty straight and that it's not too deep in the suspension travel. With these fenders it's hard to see, but you see I still have plenty, so you don't want to over tighten it. But with this setup, the bike is already really firmly secured. And you have seen this took me only a few seconds. Then here I have one more strap, and I use another cargo buckle down here. Now these are a little bit closer to the bike, and because of that I have this towel around there. Let me hook it up real quick and show you. So now it looks like this. You see I have this strap here, and the idea is that this towel is just preventing any scratches against the foot peg, and then I have it hooked in here so that the bike gets pulled down and the rear doesn't move freely. So it's a little bit close to it, and that's why we don't have a lot of angle to get the rope further away from the bike to avoid it touching it. On this side it's much easier. You can simply hook one cargo buckle to the mounting hook here. There's one here, there's one here. And then you take it again through a loop, tighten it down. There's a couple of clicks. Then you lock this in place. And then the bike is already mounted. So with this, I could already drive off and I would be good to go. There's one bloody legend on Reddit that actually posted how he manufactured a plate that goes over here. Then you can connect a Pitbull, I think TRS system is the name. Essentially a plate where you can hook it through the axle, and that would then secure your bike even quicker and even more securely. So if you don't like the straps in the back, especially here on this side, then I will post in the description below the link to the Reddit article on how they mounted a plate there to get the Pitbull system in there. So really cool system then. All right, you probably already noticed, I have some Milwaukee plates here. Let me show you what's that about. So, whenever I go to the track, I travel with a couple of boxes, toolboxes, right? So you can change your tires, you can bleed your brakes or do other little changes and modifications on the bike. And Milwaukee is a really great system. They're quality boxes, right? This one is a nice one where you have little drawers, and they come all in all sizes and shapes to whatever needs you have. And they have these plates. So all you need to do, throw this on here, and then it locks in place. And it's super sturdy. And then for added safety, I just hook in a cargo buckle here and here. Tighten that up. And she's not going anywhere. And here's another box. This is a cooler. Same idea here. You just lock it in and you're done. So you can mount your stuff so quickly. And for short trips, it is even safe enough to drive around like this. But keep in mind, the bottom mounting system of these boxes, there are just many plastic ones, which are pretty sturdy. So for normal acceleration braking, this will not come off. But if you would get into a crash, or if you're doing anything like off-roading, some rough pavement, potholes, it's definitely good to secure it more. So for track days, there are two more things that you probably need: tires and fuel. And both of them I don't like to keep in the car. The fuel can always leaks a little bit of gas. You don't want to inhale that, so keep that on the trailer. And tires take up a lot of room. My car is not super huge, so I definitely have the tires out here on the trailer to have some more room in the car. I did a lot of research on this. I found one great strap that's exactly made for these VP Racing fuel jugs. I will also put the link in the description below for this one. Oh, and of course I will link the cargo buckles that I use all the time as well. But let me show you how I use it. So what I do is I get the tires over the fuel can. This speed strap, which is linked below, just goes over here, and you see it has a perfect opening for the main opening, and here's a little pressure valve, and then you just hook it to the trailer, and it has a little ratchet here, and you tie it down until the fuel jug compresses a little bit. Right, it's very sturdy plastic, and once you get it tight enough that you cannot flip it over by really moving it very strongly with your arm, it will stay in place. You can secure this one down and you're done. The tire now you see is also squeezed in on those both sides. If you have more tires, or if you want to extra secure it, use one more strap to usually go from over here to that side. You can also use some bungee cords that help a little bit to keep things in place. And it's always good to have a second safety, so don't rely on the one strap. Even though this one is pretty strong, you want to make sure that you have one more strap over to secure the tire down as well, and then you're good to go. But yeah, there you have it. This is how I load my S1000 RR onto the Kendon Dual trailer. A little bit tips and tricks about the mounting points, mounting hardware, everything is linked in the description below if some of the products work for you as well. I really like this little hack I came up with to mount the toolboxes on the trailer. That saves me a lot of time and also frees up a lot of room in my car. If you have any more questions, please comment down below. And if it was helpful at all, please give it a like. And I see you in the next one. Bye bye for now.